Hello, I'm Reema Chandra and welcome to Cooking Without Boundaries. Hi, I'm Reema. Welcome to Cooking Without Boundaries. Cooking without boundaries, as I have said before, to me means that you come out of your boundaries of what you may not have as ingredients go, or the skills, or a certain day of the week, various things that we enclose ourselves in, and we feel that we are not able to cook. Lack of time, busy lifestyle, all of those things. I would show you how to come out of those and cook something very tasty, very healthy, very easy in a short amount of time with what you have in your refrigerator, with what you have in your pantry and your spice cabinet, and feed your family a very healthy, nutritious and tasty meal. So let's get cooking. Today we'll be making black-eyed peas soup with a touch of kale. So you're bringing lentils, protein, and kale is green, which is full of vitamin A, C, magnesium, calcium, iron, you name it. The second dish we'll be making is garlic flavored butternut squash, very seasonal these days. And the third dish we'll be making would be pesto chicken stir fry with peppers in a wrap. So let's get cooking. Black-eyed peas soup with a touch of kale. What we'll do in this dish is we'll saute kale ahead of time and reserve it to add later. So about 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and as it is smoked, we add kale. Kale gets sauteed very quickly, so you do just for 2 minutes until you see that the leaves are turning really bright green and wilting. Then you know that they have, it's like flash sauteing, and your flame should be medium to high. The pan was hot, so it's getting sauteed very quickly. It's done, so barely a minute, and I will take it out here. Put the pan back, and a 2 teaspoon of olive oil again, 2 teaspoon of chopped, or 2 cloves of chopped garlic. We'll put that in. Once that is sauteed, we do half a teaspoon of ginger, chopped ginger, and then we do a cup of chopped onion. We saute the three together for about 3 to 4 minutes. At this point we should lower our flame. So it's been about 2 minutes. Onion has caramelized, and I'm going to add about half a cup of chopped tomatoes. Saute it, mix it, stir it in a mushing motion that you are just like I'm doing it with my wooden spatula. So for making this dish, I use wooden spatula because the motion of this heavy wooden spatula actually mushes the ingredients in and makes it creamy soup like texture which we want. Now that we have added tomatoes, it's going to prevent onion from burning, so we can increase the flame a little for cooking to get faster. And tomatoes, I'll saute it for another minute. At this point, I want to add freshly pounded black pepper, a quarter of teaspoon, and half a teaspoon of salt. Let's do that. Freshly pounded. See, this is where I freshly pounded black pepper. Just a little bit of pounding releases the fresh aroma and of any spice, and what that does is gets your appetite going, and everybody looking for that particular dish. This is what it looks. So as you can see, tomatoes are releasing their water, and it's getting little watery in here. Another 30 seconds of sauteing on this flame, and we add black-eyed peas to the pot. Wonderful smell of garlic, ginger, onion, tomatoes, black pepper, and salt together. It's very refreshing, and it is appetizing. At this point, let's add one small can of black-eyed peas, which is roughly about 1.5 cup of black-eyed peas. So I'm going to add this. When I make this much quantity, I am thinking of a family of 4. So this is all of this measurement and quantities is done by keeping that in mind. If you have a few more members in your family, please add little more of all of it, or if not, then just eat little less, and that will do too. So this is what it looks like. Now I'm going to mush it while I'm stirring it lightly. Don't mush it like you're making mashed potatoes, but just slightly, so that it all becomes mixed together well. At this point, let's add 2 cups of hot water. I have said before also that my cooking habits are that I would put a pot of or kettle of boiling water on stove, water to boil on stove, so that we have it ready when we are ready to cook. It doesn't take much, just to remember that we need to do that. And oftentimes you will need some little bit of that hot water, or maybe all of it. So we will let it simmer for 5 minutes on this flame with a lid on top, and we'll come back, check it, simmer it on lower flame. We'll come back, check it, and at that point we'll add the sauteed kale and serve it to our family. As you can see, the soup is ready for us to mix kale in it, and then serve it in a serving dish. So let's do that. Here is our sauteed kale that we had done it earlier, and you can see adding this gives a nice green, adds a nice green color to it, as well as some more nutrition. Switch off the stove. Let's hold the pot and pour soup out in a serving dish. This is black-eyed peas soup with touch of kale. Nutritious, healthy, quick, and tasty. Our next dish is sliced garlic flavored butternut squash. Very seasonal, and I'm sure you all must have, most of you must have it in your refrigerator. So let's get started with that. 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. Spread it in the pan. This is a flat, wide mouth frying or sauteing kind of pan, so you have a space to work there. And these are the slices of butternut squash. So this is what we are going to use, and we'll fit as many as we can. But to do that, before we do that, we have 1.5 teaspoons of garlic paste. Where's my spatula? Let's get the spatula from here. How about we do something with flat spatula like this? Spread garlic around. You see how for making this dish I'm wearing an apron? A friend of mine from Minnesota brought it especially for me to wear it on the show, so that she was worried that my clothes will get dirty. And thanks to her, but here we are putting slices of butternut squash in the pan. Can we put one more? Maybe not. We should not try to crowd it, because when we go to turn it over, they can break, and our objective is for them to not break. So let's set the stove at low and cover with a lid. We will let it cook for about 2 minutes, and at that point we'll come back, turn over, add other ingredients, and let it cook. It's a very quick dish and a yummy dish. So let's check it back in 2 minutes. They look very good on one side. They have caramelized a little, and we will turn them over as best as we can without breaking them. And smells very good. The smell of fresh garlic is something that is so appetizing. You know, when you enter a restaurant, an Italian restaurant, and you have fresh garlic smelling, that makes you say, ooh, smells nice. So other ingredients are 1/4 teaspoon of freshly pounded black pepper, just to add a little spice to it. So that was 1/4 teaspoon. 1/4 teaspoon of salt, sprinkle on top, okay, without touching them, and 1 teaspoon of honey. Let's do this. Just drizzle over all the slices, make sure each slice gets it. Honey adds a little bit of, it balances the heat and the saltiness of this dish, and doesn't make it too sugary, or it keeps the nutrition in, does not add anything junky to it. So I'll place the lid back, let it cook the other side now for 2 more minutes, and at that point we'll check the softness of slices. If it is done, we'll be ready to eat it. It's been a little over 2 minutes, and our slices of butternut squash flavored with garlic look ready. But let's try to go through them with this spatula, which is not a metal one, and it easily went through. So that means the slices are cooked. I'll switch off the stove at this point, and they are ready to be served. Look how beautiful they look. They look almost like they were grilled, but they were not. And you just, place them. Another key to getting your family to get attracted towards what you're cooking is how you present it. And that's actually half the battle most of the time. Kids particularly enjoy the idea of looking something nice, and they will, they will go for, they get curious and they go for it. So I have enough space in my pan to put all of them here. And if you have more slices, you could probably cook some more and get it going. This is what it should look like: garlic flavored sliced butternut squash. They are plentiful these days in supermarkets and very easy to get. And enjoy your butternut squash. Our next dish is a wrap with stir-fried chicken with pesto and peppers. So let's get started with that. For that, we are going to add actually to a hot pan. This is just a saute pan, and you can use, if you don't have a sauteing pan, you can use a stir-fry pan or a wok. Anything will do. Whatever you feel comfortable with making a stir-fry. Right now, that's what we are doing. So let's add about 2 teaspoons of cooking oil. Oops, sorry, that was a little bit of I have chopped up or sliced up 2 cloves of garlic. So we are going to add that. Let's spread the oil. This thing, by the way, is not hot, so that helps me to hold it with my hands. Please don't try that at your house, bare hands, if your pan gets hot. So let's do that. Let's get a spatula. I'm in the mood of cooking with the blue spatula right now, so I can hear the garlic sizzling a little. That's going to go up. Once garlic turns into slight brown color, we will add chicken. And this is very thinly sliced chicken pieces that I had cut earlier this morning and put it in refrigerator. You can probably find something very thinly sliced in supermarket already. This is for a family of 4. The quantity is that's how I cook it, and it is roughly about 1.5 pounds of boneless breast chicken meat. So garlic pieces are sizzling, and I'm going to now add chicken to the pan. Try to spread it around in the pan as much as you can. Let it cook. This kind of thin pieces of chicken will not take very long to cook, but they're already very thin and small. So I'm going to give it about 5 to 8 minutes to cook about 60 to 70% of it. And then we are going to add more ingredients to it, very few more, peppers, all kinds of peppers, and pesto. So let me put a lid back on it, let it sizzle, simmer, cook for about 5 to 8 minutes, and at that point we're going to come back and check on it. Flame should be at this point low to medium. So this is our small chicken pieces. There is a little bit of water that was released. If you remember, I did not add salt to it in the beginning because that would have made it release more water. So I let it sit on low to medium flame, and there is very little water that was released, but the chicken pieces are cooked at this point. At least 70 to 80% cooked. I'm going to add a medley of peppers, and believe it or not, these came from my freezer. I had a bag of frozen peppers that I said, well, why not use this? So I squeezed the extra water out and then I add the peppers here. And at this point we'll raise the flame a little so that whatever extra water gets in the pan dries up quickly. Sometimes these frozen peppers come with onions, which is also fine. You can use anything that it comes with. The idea is to add vegetables to it. Add a 1/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper just to add a little kick to it. And this is my freshly prepared pesto. What I did actually this time, one can have a few variations of pesto with garlic, with cheese. This one has olive oil, basil, and pine nuts pounded together. And because I had added garlic here in the beginning, I didn't want to add garlic here, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of pesto here. And I had reserved some chopped basil, which I'm also going to add at this point, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Raise the flame to high and stir it together quickly so that it all mixes well together. And while you're stirring together, make sure you have this motion with your hand so that it is mixing well. See how any little bit of water that was there has dried up, and you do want a little bit of moisture in it so that it does not feel dry when people are eating it. And the other 30% that was to be cooked for chicken is already cooked. It's at this point 90% cooked. We are going to switch off the stove, and in the heat of food, the pan and all of it together is making sure that another 10% is getting cooked by the time you're filling up in a wrap. So we're done with making stir-fried chicken with pesto and pepper. Let's wrap it up in a wrap, a whole wheat tortilla, and then we will give it a taste along with our other 2 dishes. So let's make the wrap. Here is a whole wheat tortilla that I picked up at supermarket. Very simple, nothing fancy about it. What I did do is whatever leftover pesto was there in the pounder, I just put that on the wrap. If you do have it, do it. If you don't, that's fine too. And then take, good amount of stir-fried chicken with pesto and pepper. Put it in the wrap here. Center it. Do these 2 sides. Do one fold this way and do the other fold this way and put it down like this. This is your wrap. This is a wrap with chicken stir-fried with pesto and peppers. This is the dinner plate that I'm going to serve to my family today. Black-eyed pea soup with touch of kale, garlic flavored butternut squash, and a wrap with chicken stir fry with pesto and pepper. All of it sounds very delicious, very nutritious, and you saw how easy it was to make, and it was made with most regular ingredients that you will have in your refrigerator, in your freezer, in your pantry. Nothing exquisite ingredient or nothing extraordinary supermarket trips. That's what I call cooking without boundaries. See you next time. Reema again. It's so good to hear from many of you and would love to hear from more of you. Please send me your questions, your concerns, your requests, any doubts that you might have about a certain dish that you saw me preparing and you want to make it. Write to me at sharontv.com, or if you want to go through a particular dish all over again and look it up and try to make it without calling me or without getting in touch with me, go to sharontv.com and my programs are listed there and you can see them all over again. Look forward to hearing from you. Enjoy cooking without boundaries.